And LSU, Mississippi State, everybody is looking forward to that one tomorrow, T. And this is a big matchup when we saw the schedule come out from a Southeastern Conference standpoint. You looked at LSU beginning this defense of the national championship with first-year head coach Mike Leach coming in, which really kind of presents a challenge that leaves a lot of uncertainty. You don't know a lot about.
He's certainly more challenging than another year of Joe Moorhead would have been, right? I mean, that's
especially
not exactly
with this roster, right?
That's not exactly saying much, but I mean, Brandon Walker did basically describe how Bulldog fans have felt, which is a lot like LSU fans felt for very long, which is that Moorhead offense just felt like it was 24/7 missionary with nothing ever mixed up. Mike Leach is a complete opposite, maybe too much. He's going to be freaking ways you're not quite ready for. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I'm down for that, Mike, but I am down to watch. And this Saturday, I think it's going to be pretty fascinating, man. If I had to kind of predict the flow of this game, I do think LSU rolls. I think Leach and company may have a bit of success early on. I'm very interested to see how they look to get the ball to Kylan Hill. It's not just going to be through handoffs and running the ball, right? So I went on Mississippi State podcast last night, and they were talking about in high school, I guess Hill played in a very spread attack and was used as a receiver constantly, lined up in the slot. And so they're going to look to advance that skill set once again. So like I said, look, the air raid, one interesting thing about it is because of all those little intermediate quick hitting stuff, they're throwing to space. They're not necessarily relying on guys to win one-on-ones. So I think early on you're going to neutralize that secondary a bit. And it's going to look like, man, how are they dinking and ducking and having success? But eventually the clamps will come on. Eventually, the talent breaks through. Maybe Derek Stingley comes up with a pick. Maybe one of the newcomers, because why would you ever throw at Derek Stingley anymore? And then I think it's a rout. Like once the defense shuts it down, then I think it's a rout. The offense, I'm actually expecting the offense to do well from the jump. And the reason is, Jordy, I think in the box score tomorrow, I think you will read. Or what do you think? Will you read more runs or more passes?
I think it's going to be a very balanced attack, but I think that they'll actually probably run the ball more tomorrow than they throw it.
I agree. That is that would be my prediction as well. So, but that's a good thing. I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah. I think that might be the strength of this team, and then I think that opens the door then for Miles to have a ton of success. Now, again, I will say this: when you look at the Mississippi State team, they're not particularly strong anywhere on defense, but they are really bad in the secondary. So if we are going to be wrong, that would be why, because you should be able to kill them in the secondary. And I don't know how they're going to match up with Terrace Marshall, much less the rest of the crew. I mean, and Butte and McMath and Arik Gilbert. We're almost there, boys. We're less than 24 hours away. Not less than, that's bad math. We are a little over 24 hours away from watching Arik Gilbert live, dude.
Looking at Gilbert, B.J. Ojulari, you've heard all about the freshman.
They were trying to tell me last night that I can't remember old boy's name, Brule. They got a guy that's going to D-up Gilbert.
Sweet.
They have a guy that's going to shut him down and cover it. They said they're not worried about him. They're not worried.
That's what I love. See, that's what they're talking about over at LSU. Nobody is prepared for how good Gilbert's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got Mississippi State podcasters saying that they've got some fifth stringer that's going to line up and guard him.
Shout out my guy Derek Thomas, too, who's on it's his Black Dogs Sports podcast. It's awesome, man.
Ogeron was speaking yesterday post-practice about keeping game day routines the same.
Oh, yeah, same stuff. Getting ready. Tomorrow's Focus Friday. We're going to beat the drum. We're going to have walkthroughs. We're going to Loud Cook. We're doing all the same stuff. We'll walk down the Tiger Walk, have our clap session before, put our suits on. Whoever's on the Tiger Walk, just tell them to cheer loud. I think these young men are going to be awfully excited. They're excited to play something else. I think that's where you're going to get most of the energy from.
You'll have the pandemic hovering over college football throughout the season, obviously. So Ogeron was asked about a backup plan if Corona strikes.
Yeah, it's not right now, but we do have a backup plan. Obviously, I love having Scott Linehan. I love having him there. Mickey Joseph, our associate head coach. Those guys can do a good job of handling. James Craig can handle the run game. So those guys, I think that we'll all pitch into the game plan. Somebody was on offense, on defense. We have Bill. Bill has done a great job for us. We have Kevin Cole, who's an analyst, could step in as an extra coach. If one coach was done, it could be a defensive coordinator, could call plays. So I think we're in good shape.
Ogeron, speaking of the health of his squad going into game one.
Yeah, I think we're the best we've been. And I think that we got a couple guys with some nicks and bruises, But as right now, nobody's out as far as I know. We're ready to go.
O was speaking yesterday about what he expects from his defense under new leadership in Bo Pelini.
Yeah, first of all, the style of defense that we're playing is an attack defense. We're coming. We're attacking every day, every down. We're playing tight coverage. And then again, the speed of our defense. I think that the strength of our defense is the speed of our linebackers. And obviously, having a guy like Derek Stingley and Jacoby Stevens back there with Todd Harris, Cordell Flott, I think those guys are very fast. I do believe we're going to put a rush on people. This guy's going to be tough because of the splits. You're going to get the ball out there quick. But I do believe that Bo has done a great job in turnover ratio, and those guys are going to lead the charge.
Yeah, something interesting Coach O hit on there. That is one of the great advantages of the air raid, right? You neutralize the pass rush because of how quick that ball comes out. So I don't know if you're going to see sack numbers, but I still think that we can start to get an idea of hopefully what the disruptive nature of this defense is. So, like, if you want something to watch tomorrow, don't necessarily be married to sack. Watch the line. When the defensive line's on there, like, watch after the ball snap. Don't look at the quarterback until he throws it. Watch the line play and see if Logan and Ika, all your interior guys, see if they're beating those blocks quickly, because down the road against non-air raid teams, that will translate into sacks.
One more from O about his defense and what he expects on Saturday.
We do have a lot of nickel. Obviously, nickel is the base package nowadays in football. We do have some dime, and we're gonna mix those guys up. Cordell Flott, Jay Ward if he's available, Derek Stingley. Those guys are all interchangeable down there. Jabril Cox can play some. We can move a safety down. Todd Harris can do it. So I think we're very multiple, and we have a lot of guys that can play different positions in nickel and dime.
I mean, that's like Jabril Cox at corner.
Well, I mean, they talk about his coverage all the time, man. I mean, every time I hear about Jabril Cox, it's about his coverage.
He said he could play nickel. He said that multiple times. He said he could play nickel.
That's wild, dude. Eli Ricks, not mentioned there, but I got to imagine that was just a slip of the mind, right? Is he that nickel guy? I mean, it seems like Flott kind of has it on the outside. Oh, is it up in the air?
Well, I don't know if it's up in the air, but I mean, if you're paying attention, he hasn't mentioned him the last couple of times. He's been talking about that nickel spot. I don't know if he's trying to send a message, or I don't know if he is truly out of the mix right now. But I expect Ricks to get some playing time tomorrow for sure. He's one of those high-end freshmen that we've talked about.
Flott is the guy, though. He's the guy that could surprise you. The guy that, especially nationally, people don't know about him at all. I mean, I feel like we still don't fully know him, but I think this is going to be his breakout party this year.
I agree with you. All-Star Toyota brings you off the bench daily here. Remember, online, allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com. Get over there and shop the inventory today, whether you're looking for brand-new car inventory, used car inventory, pre-owned and certified. You can find it all online at allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com. We'll continue the discussion with Hunt Palmer next here on Off the Bench.